Picture this. You wake in a room where everything feels safe. The air is warm, the walls steady, the floor soft beneath your feet. Nothing threatens you. Food is within reach, entertainment a button away, your phone glowing like a trusted companion. You have no urgent need, no pressing fear. And for a moment, it feels like paradise. Now, imagine living this way, not for a day, but for years. The environment never changes. The temperature never shifts. The meals never surprise. The entertainment always soothes. Nothing truly challenges you. What happens then? At first, you might think this would be bliss, life without hardship, existence without pain. Isn't this what we secretly crave? A world where discomfort never arrives, where risk never intrudes, where uncertainty never knocks. But here's the paradox. The longer you remain in this sanctuary of ease, the more something inside begins to wither. Your muscles weaken, your curiosity dulls, your hunger for possibility dissolves. You do not grow, you simply persist. What if the very thing we spend our lives chasing, comfort, is the very thing that quietly kills our potential? Consider it. Everything you admire in history, every figure who shaped the world, every breakthrough in science, philosophy, or art was born not in comfort, but in struggle. Nietzsche wrote that, "What does not kill us makes us stronger." Jung believed that meaning emerged from wrestling with the shadow. Frankl found purpose even in the hell of concentration camps. And yet, in modern life, we flee from discomfort as though it were poison. Is it possible that what we call happiness today is merely sedation? Is our pursuit of comfort not liberation, but entrapment disguised as pleasure? Think of the moments in your own life that transformed you. Were they easy? Or did they demand that you confront fear, risk rejection, face pain, endure uncertainty? Growth does not come from the couch, the screen, the climate-controlled room. It comes from the edge, the place where you are forced to expand beyond who you were yesterday. And yet, society has mastered the art of lulling you away from that edge. Convenience delivers food to your door. Algorithms deliver distraction to your mind. Routines deliver predictability to your days. You are surrounded by soft walls, padded corners, invisible cages lined with velvet. You do not notice the bars because they feel so pleasant against your skin. But here is the haunting question. What if this illusion of comfort is the greatest trap of all? What if by shielding ourselves from struggle, we are shielding ourselves from life itself? The animal in the wild grows strong because it must hunt, adapt, survive. The animal in captivity grows tame, soft, dependent. Which one do we resemble more? You may think you are free because you feel no chains, but ask yourself, when was the last time you truly risked something? When was the last time you stepped into a situation where failure was possible, even likely? When was the last time you felt the fire of danger, the raw edge of uncertainty, the pulse of life demanding your fullest self? Could it be that the absence of discomfort is not paradise, but death in slow motion, a quiet suffocation disguised as safety? And if this is true, then everything you have been taught to pursue, ease, security, convenience, may not be the path to fulfillment, but the very reason you feel hollow despite having everything you need. Pause on that thought. What if the more comfortable you become, the further you drift from the person you were meant to be? This is the paradox we must confront. Not how to find more comfort, but how to see through its illusion. Not how to escape hardship, but how to recognize that hardship may be the very thing that awakens you. And so we are left with a question that unsettles everything we assume about happiness. If comfort is killing us, why do we keep worshiping it? That is the doorway we now step through. You might think comfort is harmless, just the natural reward for progress. After all, didn't humanity spend thousands of years striving to build fire, shelter, medicine, technology? Isn't comfort the very proof of civilization's success? That is the story we tell ourselves, that comfort equals advancement and discomfort equals regression. But hidden beneath this narrative lies something far more dangerous, a quiet erosion of the very forces that make us human. Comfort seduces us with its softness. It whispers, "Stay here." Why push further? Why risk? And we listen because the promise of safety is irresistible. Yet, this is the same voice that lulls the warrior into idleness, the thinker into complacency, the dreamer into conformity. What begins as a reward becomes a prison. Carl Jung once observed that there is no coming to consciousness without pain. He believed the psyche evolves only when forced to wrestle with tension and contradiction. Comfort denies us this struggle. When life is too easy, the unconscious has no reason to rise. The shadow remains hidden, unchallenged, unintegrated. Instead of wholeness, we inherit a hollow self, a mask of satisfaction covering an inner void. Nietzsche sharpened the warning further. He saw struggle not as an obstacle, but as life's very essence. For him, suffering was the furnace in which greatness is forged. Instead of creators, we become consumers. Instead of transcending, we stagnate. Modern thinkers like Aldous Huxley echoed this in more practical terms. In Brave New World, he imagined a society so saturated with pleasure, distraction, and ease that its citizens no longer questioned, no longer rebelled, no longer aspired. They were docile not because of chains, but because of comfort. Isn't this eerily familiar? With endless entertainment at our fingertips, convenience delivered to our doors, and algorithms predicting our every desire, we are living Huxley's nightmare, wrapped in the illusion of paradise. Viktor Frankl, who endured the concentration camps, understood that survival depended not on comfort, but on meaning. Even in the harshest conditions, those who found a why could endure almost any how. Comfort, by contrast, blinds us to our why. When nothing challenges us, we stop asking what life demands of us. We drift, comfortable but aimless, alive but unawakened. And here lies the psychological root. The brain itself craves efficiency, not greatness. Neurologically, we are wired to conserve energy, avoid pain, seek pleasure. This made sense in a world of scarcity, where survival hinged on conserving calories. But in today's abundance, this wiring betrays us. Surrounded by cheap pleasures, we choose the path of least resistance, not because it fulfills us, but because it sedates us. Consider the mechanisms at play. Dopamine rewards us not for achievement, but for anticipation. Every notification, every scroll, every bite of junk food delivers the illusion of reward without the substance of growth. We are neurologically hijacked into cycles of shallow comfort, leaving us restless yet unwilling to break free. The deeper tragedy is cultural. Entire systems are built to keep us comfortable, not fulfilled. Corporations profit from your inertia. Governments prefer your compliance. Entertainment thrives on your distraction. A society of comfort seekers is stable, predictable, easily managed. As long as you are pacified, you will not revolt. But the cost is profound. You lose touch with your instincts, your resilience, your hunger for meaning. The fire that drove your ancestors to cross oceans, scale mountains, challenge gods, and invent civilizations now flickers weakly behind glowing screens. Pause and ask yourself, when was the last time you did something truly difficult, not because you had to, but because it mattered? When did you last feel the raw terror of stepping into the unknown, the exhilaration of risk, the burn of struggle that promised transformation? If you struggle to recall, then perhaps you already know how deep the problem runs. The illusion of comfort isn't just a lifestyle choice, it is an existential danger. It tells you that ease is enough, when in reality, ease strips you of the very conditions that make life worth living. So here is the unsettling truth. The enemy is not pain. The enemy is numbness. The true danger is not that you suffer, but that you stop caring, stop striving, stop becoming. And if this is the root of the problem, then what does it mean for our future, not just as individuals, but as a society addicted to ease? That question leads us into the next shadow, the consequences we rarely see until it's too late. Imagine walking through a city where no one hungers, no one risks, no one strives. Every street glows with neon comfort. Every shop sells instant gratification. Every screen delivers endless distraction. At first glance, it looks like utopia. No struggle, no suffering. But watch closely. Notice the hollow eyes of the people moving through it. Notice the absence of fire in their steps, the silence of imagination, the decay of dreams. This is not utopia. It is sedation disguised as civilization. This is what the illusion of comfort does. It doesn't kill you quickly, it erodes you slowly. And because it happens gradually, you rarely notice until the damage is already irreversible. On the individual level, comfort robs you of vitality. Neuroscience tells us that the brain thrives on challenge. It rewires itself when faced with novelty, struggle, and uncertainty. Without these, neural pathways stagnate. The mind becomes dull, reactive instead of creative, passive instead of engaged. Think about it. Every time you choose ease over effort, binging another series instead of studying, ordering fast food instead of cooking, scrolling endlessly instead of confronting loneliness, you reinforce a pattern. The brain adapts to whatever you repeat. Over time, you literally sculpt yourself into passivity. Comfort also weakens the body. Muscles unused decay. Energy dwindles when never demanded. Immunity falters when never tested. What was once resilience becomes fragility. And then, when discomfort inevitably arrives, illness, heartbreak, failure, you find yourself utterly unprepared because comfort has stolen your capacity to endure. Worse still, comfort erodes the soul. When life offers everything easily, nothing feels valuable. Struggle gives meaning. Triumph only matters because failure was possible. Strip away that tension, and existence flattens. You drift through days without urgency, nights without dreams, years without transformation. Isn't that the tragedy of modern life? That so many have everything they thought they wanted, yet feel nothing at all? Comfort's poison is not limited to individuals. It infects entire societies. Cultures addicted to ease stop producing visionaries. Instead of daring leaders, they produce managers. Instead of artists who challenge, they produce entertainers who soothe. Instead of thinkers who disrupt, they produce influencers who distract. Political systems thrive on this complacency. A comfortable population does not revolt, does not question, does not demand more. Why risk discomfort when the screen is glowing, the fridge is full, the bills are on auto pay? Tyranny doesn't always arrive in jackboots. It often arrives with convenience. History offers stark reminders. Rome did not collapse at the height of its struggles. It decayed in its comfort. Bread and circuses pacified citizens into passivity. The fire that once built an empire died in the glow of excess. Are we so different today, sedated not by gladiators, but by streaming services, not by feasts, but by fast food, not by temples, but by shopping malls? Comfort also fragments communities. Shared struggle once bound people together, neighbors supporting each other through hardship, families uniting in survival. Today, insulated by comfort, individuals retreat into isolation. Loneliness spreads even as cities swell with millions. Social ties weaken because comfort convinces you that you need no one but yourself and your screen. But the deepest cost is existential. Comfort lulls you into believing life is about safety, not meaning. Slowly, your goals shrink. You stop asking, "What am I capable of?" and instead ask, "How can I avoid discomfort?" You trade potential for predictability, freedom for familiarity, purpose for pleasure. This is where Sartre's warning resurfaces. Freedom is terrifying, so we flee into routines that protect us from the abyss of choice. But in doing so, we stop living authentically. We become what he called bad faith, people pretending not to know they are free, clinging to comfort as an excuse. Nietzsche would call this the herd mentality, the willingness to settle for mediocrity, to obey rather than create, to live as shadows rather than flames. Comfort doesn't just weaken you, it makes you complicit in your own diminishment. And perhaps the cruelest twist? Comfort convinces you that this diminishment is happiness. It offers you dopamine in place of fulfillment, sedation in place of joy, safety in place of freedom. You believe you are content until one day you wake up with decades behind you and realize you never truly lived. This is why the illusion of comfort is so deadly. Its consequences don't scream, they whisper. You don't wake up broken, you wake up numb. You don't notice the decline, you call it maturity. You don't fight back, you justify your surrender with words like stability and security. But beneath it all, a quiet voice remains. It speaks in restlessness, in boredom, in dissatisfaction. It asks, "Is this it?" That voice is your last defense against the comfort trap. Ignore it long enough, and it falls silent forever. So ask yourself, how many of your choices today are guided not by vision, but by the avoidance of discomfort? How many opportunities have you declined because the risk of pain outweighed the promise of growth? How many years have slipped by in the name of safety while your potential withered untested? This is the cost of comfort, not just wasted time, but wasted self. And here is the paradox. The very thing we seek to avoid, struggle, is the very thing that gives us life. Discomfort awakens, sharpens, transforms. Without it, we are not living, we are merely existing. The time has come to confront the truth. If comfort is killing us, then only discomfort can save us. But how? How do you rebel against a world designed to sedate you? Against a mind that craves ease? Against systems built to profit from your passivity? That is where we turn next. The rebellion, and the radical act of reclaiming your potential. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind pulling at your clothes, the ground crumbling beneath your feet. Behind you lies everything familiar: warmth, security, routine. Ahead of you, nothing but the unknown, vast and terrifying. Most turn back, a few leap, and history remembers only those who jumped. Rebellion against comfort begins with a single realization: safety is not neutral, it is captivity. Every time you choose ease over effort, you are tightening the chains. Every time you avoid struggle, you are handing over your power. To break free is not to chase danger recklessly, but to reclaim the edge where life becomes alive again. Rebellion starts in the mind. You must strip comfort of its disguise. That warm couch is not just furniture, it is temptation. That endless scroll is not leisure, it is sedation. That secure job that drains your soul is not stability, it is entrapment. To break free, you must learn to see not what comfort offers, but what it steals. Carl Jung urged us to confront the shadow, to face what we most fear. The shadow of comfort is mediocrity. Until you face it, you will never choose otherwise. If comfort weakens, then discomfort strengthens. Muscles grow only when strained. Minds sharpen only when challenged. Souls deepen only when tested. To rebel is to deliberately walk into the fire. Nietzsche's call to become who you are requires suffering. He did not mean masochism, but the courage to embrace trials as the forge of greatness. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something that truly terrified you? That is where your growth waits. This does not mean chaos for its own sake. It means choosing challenges that matter, running toward meaningful discomfort instead of numbing trivial comfort. History is filled with those who defied the comfort trap. Galileo risked imprisonment for truth. Rosa Parks risked safety for dignity. Dostoevsky, sentenced to death and spared at the last moment, transformed his suffering into novels that revealed the human soul. None of them chose the easy path, and yet their struggles reshaped humanity. Would we even know their names if they had clung to comfort? The rebellion is not always grand. Sometimes it is as small as saying no to distraction, yes to risk, yes to the unknown. Sometimes it is choosing silence over noise, discipline over indulgence, courage over avoidance. How do you live this rebellion in daily life? Disrupt routines. Break the cycles of ease. Take cold showers. Walk instead of drive. Speak when silence is safer. Push your body and mind into unfamiliar territory. Choose challenge deliberately. Sign up for the task that intimidates you. Pursue the project that risks failure. Lean into the conversation you fear. Detach from sedations. Notice how entertainment, comfort food, or scrolling are used to escape. Rebellion is not abstinence, but awareness. Use tools. Don't let them use you. Redefine success. Stop measuring life by comfort gained and start measuring by growth achieved. Ask not, was it easy, but did it expand me? Something remarkable happens when you begin this rebellion. The fear that once controlled you becomes energy. Every discomfort you embrace rewires your brain. Anxiety transforms into courage. Boredom transforms into curiosity. Fragility transforms into resilience. This is not theory, it is biology. The stress you endure triggers adaptation. Neural pathways strengthen, hormones regulate. The body and mind, forced to rise, rediscover their latent power. Discomfort becomes the catalyst for becoming. Jean-Paul Sartre spoke of existence preceding essence. In rebellion, you live this truth. You are not defined by what you were, but by what you choose. Each act of discomfort creates you anew. Viktor Frankl reminds us that meaning is not found in comfort, but in struggle. When you rebel against ease, you open yourself to meaning. Climbing the mountain matters not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Love deepens not because it is painless, but because it endures trials. Purpose awakens not in calm seas, but in storms. Rebellion is not self-destruction, it is self-discovery. By walking into discomfort, you discover not just strength, but truth. Make no mistake, rebellion carries risk. You will fail, you will hurt, you will lose. But the cost of refusing rebellion is far worse: to drift through life as a ghost, never knowing what you might have been. Comfort protects the shell of existence, but kills the spark of becoming. Which cost is greater? Look again at the cliff. Behind you lies the illusion of safety, a life padded with comfort but stripped of fire. Ahead lies uncertainty, challenge, danger, transformation. The path of rebellion is not promised, but it is alive. So the question stands before you, urgent and unavoidable. Will you retreat into comfort and slowly decay, or will you leap into discomfort and discover who you truly are? The rebellion is not tomorrow, it is now. And yet, even rebellion is not the final answer. Beyond the fire of discomfort lies a truth even deeper, the ultimate realization about why comfort enslaves us and what freedom truly means. That is where we turn next. Picture this: You stand in the ruins of comfort. The soft pillows have turned to dust, the glowing screens have gone dark, the routines that once cradled you lie broken at your feet. For the first time, silence surrounds you. For the first time, no distractions shield you from yourself. And in that silence, something terrifying and liberating emerges. You realize that all along, comfort was not your sanctuary. It was your cage. Here is the ultimate truth. Comfort is not freedom. It is the most sophisticated form of captivity. Chains of iron are easy to see. They provoke resistance, but chains woven from pleasure, convenience, and safety are invisible. You do not resist them because you mistake them for gifts. That is why comfort is so deadly. It enslaves you while convincing you that you are free. Comfort's lie is seductive. You are fine as you are. Stay here. Don't risk. Don't suffer. But life does not reward those who stay still. Life itself is movement, change, evolution. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. This is why every myth, every spiritual teaching, every great story begins with departure, the leaving of the familiar. Heroes are never born in comfort. They are born when they walk away from the known and into the wilderness. Comfort kills heroes before they begin. Carl Jung understood this at the deepest level. He taught that the gold we seek lies in the places we most fear to go. The shadow, the rejected, uncomfortable parts of ourselves, holds the key to transformation. Yet, comfort tells us to avoid the shadow, to hide from what hurts, to stay in the shallow light, and so we obey, never realizing that by avoiding discomfort, we avoid ourselves. Here lies the deepest revelation. Comfort is not just a trap of society, it is self-betrayal. Each time you choose ease over truth, you turn away from who you might have become. Think about that. Comfort isn't neutral. It is betrayal of your potential, betrayal of your soul. To cling to comfort is to guarantee mediocrity. To embrace risk is to taste life. Viktor Frankl's words sharpen this. What gives life meaning is not what we avoid, but what we endure. Comfort strips life of meaning because it strips it of struggle. And so the final, most powerful realization is this: your highest self will never be found in comfort. It will only be revealed in the fire of discomfort, in the storm of risk, in the shadow you keep avoiding. Look at your life. How many decisions have been made not out of vision, but out of fear of discomfort? How many times have you chosen the easy path only to feel emptier afterward? How many moments of true aliveness have you felt, and weren't they always on the edge of risk, fear, or pain? The illusion of comfort is that it protects you. The truth is that it buries you alive. But here's the hope. Every moment you have the chance to rebel, to walk into discomfort, to step into the unknown, to break the bars of your velvet prison. Freedom is not found in safety. Freedom is found in risk, in truth, in authenticity. So what will you choose? The slow suffocation of comfort, or the terrifying, exhilarating expansion of life? Stand again at the cliff's edge in your mind. Behind you, the false security of comfort. Before you, the wilderness of becoming. The choice is yours. But know this: no one in history was remembered for staying comfortable. You were not born for sedation. You were born for struggle, for transformation, for greatness. And yet, one truth remains, more unsettling than all the rest. The deepest discomfort is not out there in the world. It is inside you. Because the greatest enemy of your potential is not the couch, the screen, or the system. It is the shadow you refuse to face, the anger you suppress, the wounds you deny, the desires you disown. Comfort tells you to keep ignoring them, but Jung warns, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So here is where this journey truly begins. Escaping comfort is not just about seeking struggle in the outside world. It is about confronting the hidden struggle within. And that, my friend, is the shadow you keep ignoring. We will explore this aspect to uncover a secret identity you've been unknowingly carrying all your life in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more of such deep, thought-provoking content.